Hi guys, we're back with chapter 25. This is Wisdom for Leaders. These proverbs were collected by Hezekiah's advisors. The first section was written by Solomon, and the next two sections were written by others. While we all can learn from these proverbs, many were originally directed toward the king or those who dealt with the king. These are particularly helpful for those who are leaders or aspire to become leaders. The book ends with a description of a truly good wife who is an example of godly wisdom. Wow, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? More Proverbs of Solomon, chapter 25. These are more Proverbs of Solomon collected by advisors of King Hezekiah of Judah. Verse 2, no one can comprehend the height of heaven, the depth of the earth, or all that goes on in the king's mind. Remove the impurities from silver, and sterling will be ready for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's court, and his reign will be made secure by justice. Wow, that's amazing. Don't demand an audience with the king or push for a place among the great. It's better to wait for an invitation to the head table than to be sent away in public disgrace. Wow. Just because you've seen something, don't be in a hurry to go to court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor deals you a shameful defeat? Yep. When arguing with your neighbor, don't betray another person's secret. Others may accuse you of gossip, and you will never regain your good reputation. Timely advice is lovely, like golden apples in a silver basket. To one who listens, valid criticism is like a gold earring or other gold jewelry. Trustworthy messengers refresh like snow in summer. They revive the spirit of their employer. A person who promises a gift but doesn't give it is like clouds and wind that brings no rain. Wow. Patience can persuade a prince, and soft speech can break bones. Do you like honey? Don't eat too much, or it will make you sick. Don't visit your neighbors too often, or you will wear out your welcome. That's true. Telling lies about others is as harmful as hitting them with an ox. Wounding them with a sword or shooting them with a sharp arrow. Yeah. Putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. Wow. Singing cheerful songs to a person with a heavy heart is like taking someone's coat in cold weather or pouring vinegar in a wound. Ooh. If your enemies are hungry, give them food to eat. If they are thirsty, give them water to drink. You will heap burning coals of shame on their heads, and the Lord will reward you. As surely as a north wind brings rain, so a gossiping tongue causes anger. It's better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Good news from far away is like cold water to the thirsty. If the godly give in to the wicked, it's like polluting a fountain or muddying a spring. Okay. It's not good to eat too much honey. And it's not good to seek honors for yourself. A person without self-control is like a city with broken down walls. So let's go to the study notes. First one, it's about Proverbs of Solomon collected by the advisors of King Hezekiah. Hezekiah's story is told in 2 Kings 18 through 20, the chapters, 2 Chronicles 29 through 32, and Isaiah 36 through 39. He was one of the few kings of Judah who honored the Lord. By contrast, his father Ahaz actually nailed the temple door shut. Hezekiah restored the temple, destroyed idol worship centers, and earned the respect of surrounding nations, many of whom brought gifts to God because of him. Amen. Amen. It is not surprising that Hezekiah had these proverbs copied and read, for in all that he did in the service of the temple of God and in his efforts to follow God's laws and commands, Hezekiah sought his God wholeheartedly. As a result, he was very successful. 2 Chronicles 31:21. I think Hezekiah, God gave him time too. He was going to perish, but God gave him some extra time. This passage focuses on the king's Proverbs 25 verse 2. It is God's privilege to conceal things and the king's privilege to discover them. No one can comprehend the height of heaven, the depth of the earth, or all that goes on in the king's mind. Remove the impurities from silver, and the sterling will be ready for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's court, and his reign will be made secure by justice. Amen. Don't demand an audience with the king or push for a place among the great. It's better to wait for an invitation to the head table than to be sent away in public disgrace. Amen. So we have 2 of these, and I'm going to read 7 since they're both right here. It's better to wait for an invitation. Okay, I did. Sorry, than be sent away in public disgrace. So the study note, the passage focuses on the king, Proverbs 25:2, that indicates the importance of the king's efforts to discover the truth. This verse is followed by a proverb on the value of a king keeping his own counsel and making up his own mind. Then we read that because a wise king seeks good advisors, he must be aware of danger of those who are wicked in places of influence. Last, a warning is issued to those within the court that anyone who makes demands on the king's time treads on dangerous ground. Wow, so within the court, that anyone who makes demands on the king's time treads on dangerous ground. Hezekiah began his collection of wisdom with words for himself. Jesus made this proverb into a parable. See Luke 14:7 verse 11 through 11. So he made this into a parable, 6 and 7. We should not seek honor for ourselves. The better approach is to quietly, faithfully accomplish the work God has given us to do, and others notice the quality of our efforts. They will be drawn to us. Amen. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Let's see what he had to say. So Luke 14, right? Yeah. Luke 14. Seven through 11. Jesus teaches on humility. Amen. He put forth a parable to those who were bidden when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto, he was talking about the Pharisees and Sadducees, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable than thou be bidden of him, and he that bade thee and him to come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher, then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Then said he also to him that bade him, when thou makest a dinner or supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, nor thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made of thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, and the blind, and thou shalt be blessed. For they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. Amen. So that's what that means. It's better to wait for an invitation to the head of the table than to be sent away in public disgrace. Yeah. So that just makes sense. Don't demand an audience with the king or push for a place among the great. Don't exalt yourself. Just stay humble. That's what that means, pretty much. Okay. Verse 13 says, trustworthy messengers refresh like snow in summer. They revive the spirit of their employer. It is often difficult to find people who can really trust. You can really trust. A faithful employee, a messenger, is punctual, responsible, honest, and hardworking. Such people are invaluable because they help take some of the pressure off their employers. Find out what your employer needs from you to make his or her job easier, and then do it. Most church missions organizations and Christian groups depend on people's financial gifts to keep their ministries going. This is verse 14. A person who promises a gift but doesn't give it is like clouds and wind that brings no rain.